Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Bumi and today we are watching What If the Dinosaur-Killing Asteroid Hit Earth Today by RealLifeLore. I believe that the asteroid that killed the dinosaur is the Chicxulub asteroid, if I'm not wrong. It was somewhere in Mexico? I know there's another impact somewhere here in Asia, but I can't remember what that is at the top of my head, but yeah. What if it fell down and happened today? And for all intents and purposes, we weren't able to because, well, let's see. You can't just nuke it, right? Because what will happen is that it will most likely just disintegrate into smaller asteroids, which will most likely spread farther and probably deal the same amount of damage if we're being honest. So yeah, let's say we can't deflect it. Well, most of the rich people and world leaders are probably gonna get a heads up. They can, just like in 2012, they will probably have a contingency plan for them and a select number of people, because of course world leaders need to have somebody taking care of stuff for them, right? But yeah, they are probably gonna be fine. Those doomsday preppers are probably gonna get vindicated and will also most likely survive for a short while until food supply runs out. Let's see, but for common folk like us, there's nothing you can do. Just you're probably just gonna have to make do with the time that you have and make the most of it, right? So that's basically it. That's all I can think of, is that the rich and a handful of people will survive and most of us will die. Some quickly and some very, very slowly from starvation and other effects. It's probably gonna cover the earth in a cloud of dust if after it gets burned, of course. But yeah, that will, after the burning, it will cause a global winter and then probably a new ice age, and the rest is there, a reset. But yeah, let's go ahead and check this out. So remember, if you like my reactions, don't forget to leave a like. Let me know your thoughts on the video down in the comment section below and consider subscribing. Also, don't forget to leave your suggestions on what I should check out next. That being said, let's go ahead and watch the video.
This video was made possible by CuriosityStream. When you sign up at the link in the description, you'll also get access to Nebula, the streaming video platform that RealLifeLore is a part of.
Oh, god damn it, I always miss that. But yeah, if you want to go get a curiosity stream, I can't say that word. Visit the link on screen right now to get bundled with Nebula as well. So yeah, let's proceed.
Back in 2013, the world was exposed to two near catastrophes: the Harlem Shake memes and a meteor that hit Russia. The meteor was a big 20-meter wide rock that weighed the
Yeah,
same as the Eiffel
I
Tower,
forgot
and
the
it
name.
just so happened to blow up in the air above the Russian city of Chelyabinsk, home to over
Chelyabinsk, yeah.
1 million people,
Chelyabinsk
and most
meteor.
of whom had dash cams that caught some pretty awesome footage. The asteroid blew up with the force of roughly 26 Hiroshima-scale atomic bombs, damaged over 7,000 buildings,
And that's just 20 meters. The one that killed the dinosaurs, the Chicxulub one, I think, is around more or less 10 kilometers.
and sent roughly 1,500 people to seek medical attention for their injuries. It's believed that an asteroid of this size and power randomly hits the Earth somewhere about once every 60 or so years. And while they usually hit places where nobody lives, like the oceans, they inevitably will sometimes hit a city with over 1 million people, like this one did in Chelyabinsk. While that does sound kinda bad, Earth has been absolutely slammed by some much bigger rocks in the past. One of them was so bad that it nearly killed every single living thing on the planet, and like a weird sort of balance patch, it reduced the dinosaurs down
Balance
to
patch.
chickens,
Balance patch. Hear Zeus speak. I love it.
And it set up the world for mammals like us to take over. And now we are the ones who eat the chickens. This was the asteroid that hit the Earth roughly 66 million years ago. So long ago now that it's difficult to even find traces
Did I say
of its effects. So just for fun,
asteroid?
what would happen
It's
if
the
that
Chicxulub
same
one.
asteroid hit the Earth in the exact same location today? What would happen, and would we all basically just die? For starters, the Dino-Killing Asteroid was an absolute unit, believed to be somewhere between 11 and 15 kilometers wide. That is a lot bigger than Mount Everest, and it weighed a lot more too. Imagine just for a moment Mount Everest flying directly at your city at 40,000 miles
There's
per
nothing
hour.
you can do.
You know the damage it'll cause is going
Just
to be pretty
accept it.
spectacular, and you also know that you're gonna die. But what you might not realize is just how absurd the damage and the overkill is actually going to be.
Now, one thing that I'm wondering right now is how long, let's say the moment it hits our atmosphere, how long does it take to reach the ground? If it's coming in at an angle, well, obviously it's gonna take longer, but if it's coming straight at us, how long it would take? Because that's basically how long you have to kiss your family
As
goodbye.
it's flying through the sky and burning up, the asteroid appears to you helplessly watching below as being brighter than the sun before it finally smashes into the ground and unleashes an amount of energy that's roughly equivalent to 100 trillion tons of TNT. That is over 1 billion times more powerful than the atomic bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima. If you were located anywhere near enough to see that fireball in the sky,
Hiroshima is Fat Man, right? And Nagasaki is Little Boy, if I'm not mistaken.
before it hit the ground, you would now be dead within just a matter of seconds. Any living thing located within a 1,000 kilometer radius of the impact area would be
Dead.
vaporized almost immediately within seconds.
So at least you won't feel pain. You're just gonna die. That's one thing to think about and hope for,
Asteroid
I
hit
guess.
Manhattan, then everything stretching out to Halifax, Indianapolis, and Charleston would be instantly annihilated. And for a European perspective, if the asteroid hit the center of London, it would instantly annihilate every living thing inside of the UK, Ireland, France, Belgium, the Netherlands, Switzerland, Germany, and Denmark. Plants, trees, and grass would spontaneously burst into flames thousands of kilometers away from the crash site due to the absurd levels of heat. Wildfires would almost immediately rage across the entire continent of the impact site. At the epicenter of the impact itself, the asteroid
Earthquakes.
would have punched a massive and deep hole into the surface of the planet, 150 kilometers wide and an unbelievable 20 kilometers deep.
Damn,
That hole would
that
be
is
bigger
deep.
than the big island of Hawaii and deep enough to contain Mount Everest, with another Mount Everest stacked on top, and with 3 Burj Khalifas stacked on top of that. No bunker anywhere on Earth would be capable of protecting you from that kind of overkill.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because of the earthquakes, bunkers will prove useless. So, doomsday preppers, I'm sorry guys. You're not getting out of this one. Your best way is probably with like a ship similar to the ones in what movie did I reference earlier? In 2012.
On the lower end of the guesstimations from scientists that I've read, the impact would have generated a 10.1 on the Richter scale, which is
Ooh,
more
boy.
powerful than every single earthquake that's taken place on the entire planet in the past 160 years. Roughly 8 minutes after the impact, the massive amount of vaporized rock would begin raining back down onto the planet in the form of hot ash and soot that would bury the surface and ignite even more wildfires. Roughly 45 minutes post-impact, a sudden roar of wind would blast through the region around the impact area at over 600 miles per hour, which would
What is that,
scatter
like
debris around and
Cat
absolutely
10?
flatten any structure or tree that was still standing. If the asteroid hit North America again like it did 66 million years ago, then the entire continent would basically be destroyed and on fire, and all within just the first day. The chain of events set into motion from the impact, however, would probably come close to wiping out life everywhere else too. The shockwave from the impact would most likely generate a civilization-ending tsunami at least 300 meters tall that would sweep across the land.
Now 300 meters within our archipelago like the Philippines, it will still probably have enough force to reach where I live. I live relatively high up, but I'm not sure if I'm like 300 meters above sea level. At least I don't think so, but I'm pretty well, not dead center, but I'm pretty well far inland enough, but I don't think a tsunami with this much force will stop where I live. It's just probably gonna crush through my house, and yeah, if I don't die from the shockwave, I'm gonna die from the earthquake, and if I survive through that, the tsunamis, of course.
And that was already burning, on fire, and choking on ash, and where there's probably a big hole in the ground. It's basically an apocalypse buffet at this point, but there's still a lot more left to be served up. The enormous amount of ash and ejecta pumped into the atmosphere from the crash would shroud the continent of impact in total darkness for some time, and plunge the entire world into a permanent haze that would resemble a twilight for around 3 years.
3 years.
Photosynthesis in plants and plankton across the world would be severely restricted, and most plants would likely die out over the course of those 3 years. Animals that rely on eating plants would then in turn die out, and animals that rely on eating
Extinct.
those animals would ultimately too eventually die out, just like what happened last time. A complete and total ecological collapse around the world would take place, and if it was just as bad as the last time around, it would mean that roughly 70% of all life on the planet would be eliminated. Acid rain would fall across the globe. The ocean's acidity levels would rapidly increase, but the big thing that most life would struggle with would be the unbelievable climate change. Because of all the ash and ejecta that was pumped into the atmosphere from the crash,
Ice
the
Age.
Earth would enter into a deep, years-long nuclear winter, where temperatures around the world would be freezing without any other seasons. Earth would enter into essentially a long Game of Thrones style winter for years, but after that, the planet would flip and rapidly heat up in a surprise global warming event just waiting around the corner. Because of all the huge forest fires raging on a continent or even global scale, unbelievable amounts of gases would be pumped into the atmosphere. According to one estimation, as much as 10,000 billion tons of CO2, 100 billion tons of carbon monoxide, and 100 billion more tons of methane would be unleashed into the
methane is the
atmosphere
deadlier
as a
one.
result of the catastrophe. A double whammy of a several years long winter followed by an extremely hot years long summer would probably prove to be too much for most life on the planet to endure and adapt to, just like it was last time. But if there's anything to learn from the last time this happened, it's that Earth is much more resilient than we are. A disaster of this magnitude sounds like it would be the end of the world, but it really wouldn't be.
It'd just be
Would
the end of us.
Our experience on the world,
Yep.
but it wouldn't be the end of the world itself.
I mean, a 10-kilometer asteroid is a pebble compared to the Earth. I mean, even what was the name that made the moon? The protoplanet that made the moon, was it Thea? Was it Thea? It's definitely not Theta. Was it Rhea? Thea? Somewhere along those lines. Earth survived that. I mean, that's a planet to planet, protoplanet to protoplanet collision. And the Earth survived that and used the ejecta as a moon or a satellite. So yeah, 10 kilometers is nothing to it, but that will end us for sure.
But it would have to take something a lot bigger
Well, not
and a lot
all of us.
scarier. Thankfully, a giant Earth-eating asteroid like this one hasn't been detected yet, so there's no real big reason to be scared. But one thing that definitely does scare me and keeps me up at night is the inherently unstable nature of every existing video platform that disincentivizes fun experimentation. I won't be
This is
surprised if this video
the
ends up being
segue.
demonetized here, because I'm talking about something that could be considered a disaster. And that's why a bunch of creators, including myself, got together and founded Nebula.
Yep, there you go, guys. Again, if you haven't seen the link at the start, go ahead and visit curiositystream.com/RealLifeLore. It comes bundled with Nebula. Yeah, man, I mean, really, what can you do against something like that? And that was the scenario where we don't even attempt to stop it. Recently, I think it was a week or 2 weeks ago, or it could have been three. NASA just launched their DART. I don't know if it was a satellite or it's basically like a double asteroid redirection. I forgot the T. But yeah, they're basically attempting to see if a direct impact could significantly change the course of an asteroid, so that they're basically practicing now, so that in the event of this ever happening, at least we have one plausible solution. Another plausible solution is that I've seen are floating around is lasers. I don't know how much. Well, it works on comets, I believe. If you can punch a hole big enough to create like outgassing, then the outgassing will steer the asteroid away in, well, the comet away in another direction. Direct impacts, lasers. Let's see what else. Gravity tractors. I've heard that solution before, but I'm not knowledgeable enough to tell you how it actually works. I've also seen where you send a satellite that basically, like, it has this tethers that coat the asteroid, basically hug it, and then the satellite has like ion engines to slowly but surely like redirect asteroids. We've seen that as well. But yeah, there are a lot of solutions that we can probably try out. Well, most of them are hypotheticals right now. We've never actually tried it. Well, we just recently launched a system to redirect via direct impact. But yeah, against that big an asteroid, I don't know. I don't know if there's, at least right now, if there's any viable way that we can deal with it. But yeah, like I said in the beginning, what will most likely survive are rich people, world leaders, a few military personnel, and of course, they're probably gonna need people to work for them and help them rebuild. A very interesting video. It makes you really think that, well, it made me think at least I'm gonna have a quick death. If that's something to look forward to, there you go. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me today, guys. Link to my Twitter is down in the description below. Go ahead and check it out if you want to. And if you're new here and enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like. Let me know your thoughts on the video down in the comment section below, and consider subscribing. Also, don't forget to leave your suggestions on what you should check out next. That being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!